God showed me why the Democrats and the left-wing media believe Trump is an existential threat, all within the context of Trump's DC crackdown on crime. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
What we see in Washington Post polling, among others, is that roughly half of DC residents, mostly half of DC reps, view this as a serious problem or an extremely serious problem. But the DC Council has a role to play here as well, because some of the laws that they have passed are not as strong as they could be for juvenile offenders. But to be frank, Democrats on the D.C. Council have created this political opening that allows him to do that. From a raw political perspective, you never want to give your political opponent an opening to address the needs that many of your constituents have. And that's what we're seeing playing out right now.
Even MSNBC's own guests admit Democrats left the door wide open, and Trump walked right through it.
I think it's a political win for Trump, and I think that the Democrats need to go beyond saying, no, look at the data. Crime is going down. I feel that is exactly the wrong response politically. And I'm wondering if Democrats need to go beyond the data and come up with a real answer to these problems.
So you're saying we should just fix the problem rather than defend it? What a novel idea.
Well, there's a couple things here. I think he's showing strength, which is always a big thing with him. You can't keep saying violent crime is down, but the murder rate's up. To the average person, the murder rate's about life and death. You don't brag about a rising murder rate. And the Democrats are, I agree with you, Mika, they're falling into the trap of defending what's indefensible.
It's a trap.
This is what behavioral profilers would call a tell. The kind you hear when you're interviewing a serial killer and they accidentally reveal the twisted motive driving everything they do, even the motive they don't consciously admit to themselves. In this case, the tell is the lust for power. Their obsession with using power as a weapon to protect and to preserve their own kingdom has now so overwhelmed them, they don't realize their precious strategy for exploiting the problem to retain power has become a trap of their own making. One that gives Trump the perfect opening to solve the problem and destroy their political kingdom. Chris Matthews and the left-wing media call Trump's DC crime crackdown a power play and a political stunt. Trump calls it common sense. And while Democrats cling to their precious problem for political power, the left-wing media clings to their precious narrative for control.
This is why the media is evil, okay? If you know the truth and you don't like it, then maybe just stay out of it. Just don't say anything. But instead, they know the truth and they lie because they find that their status, they're more terrified of losing their status than losing their lives. They're stuck with narratives. So they use the authoritarian narrative, which is a great one because you can fit anything into it. If you took that out and just watched what was happening, it was just crime fighting. That's all it is. It's an apolitical act that we all agree with, fighting crime. It's common sense. They know that it works. The fear is that it will work. And if it works, God help the left, because success is a threat to the preservation of their failures.
You know, this kind of makes me think of Gollum, that pathetic, shriveled little baby man from Lord of the Rings who can't let go of the ring of power. For Democrats, the problem has become more valuable than the solution. Like Gollum with "My precious." They clutched the problem as if fixing it would rob them of power. In Proverbs 26:27, it says, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." Their lust for power has become the very pit they dug. In trying to weaponize power to preserve their kingdom, they've set a trap for others that will ultimately be their own undoing. During Trump's first term, God highlighted Galatians 6:7 to me. Don't be deceived. God can't be mocked. A man will reap what he sows. And I can't help but wonder, is Trump's second term the harvest of their folly?
It sound right, boys.
And look, if you're not opposed, we could use your support. If this video gave you a new perspective, or even just made the game of politics a little more fun, go ahead, like and subscribe. Comment below. Or don't. But then you'll miss what's coming up next. I'm Brian Tuttamore with Faith Check News. Remember, think right to live free.
Must have the precious. They stole it from us.